Vinny Chase.
Ari Gold.
Vegas odds had your retirement lasting longer than my marriage.
Well, good thing that I bet big against both.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. And you? How'd you get the wife to let you go back to work?
Once she realized that she couldn't understand what the Real Housewives of Milan were saying, she begged to go.
Ari.
I'm not going back to work, Vinny.
I'm going back to be the king of Hollywood, but I agreed to live by all of my queen's rules.
Good. I hear you got something for me.
Something big. My first movie is...
Studio head, and boom! I want you to star in it.
Oh, yeah? How badly?
What do you mean?
Because I decided whatever I do next, I also want to direct.
Does he even know how to direct?
Ari? Ari.
We just had a clip from Entourage with Jeremy Piven, who's here and saying hello. Hello, Jeremy.
How are you?
I'm good. He's reprising his multi-award-winning role as Hollywood agent Ari Gold. Now kind of king of Hollywood, Jeremy. Would that be fair?
Yeah, I think he's earned his stripes, and he's ready to transition from being an agent into running a studio. But he hasn't changed his ways. So, the real question becomes, can he exist being a bully and being in charge of a studio and a slate of movies? And, you're going to have to see the movie to see whether or not that actually works out.
Can you get us up to speed for anyone who missed the entire series on television? Just explain the world of Entourage. Who are the Entourage and where you fit in, Jeremy?
Well, it kind of revolves around Vinny Chase, who is a movie star, and you have the buddies that circle him. E, who's kind of has become his manager, and Turtle, who is the buddy who's kind of like almost the mascot of the group, who smokes a lot of herbal medication. Johnny Drama is the driver and the half brother to Vinny, and then his agent Ari Gold.
And there is plenty of scope in that scenario in which you're painting for your much-loved rages. Particularly, you have one in the middle of a counselling session.
Yes.
And they're so intense, I just wonder whether they're easy to sustain at that level.
Well, one of the forms that I liked as an actor is commedia dell'arte, and that's basically the way I played Ari Gold. And commedia is you're in one of four emotional states: happiness, sadness, anger, or fear at all times, and your level is at a 10, so you're as emotionally invested as you possibly can, and that's the way you perform. And that's kind of the space in which Ari lives in. So for me to play a character like that is just really juicy and fun and rewarding and draining. So I was just lucky to play him, and I felt like, it's funny because in this country, TV series, they go 2-3 years, 4, 5 in that rarefied air, but to go 8 seasons like we did on Entourage is kind of unheard of, because I think especially in this country, the variable is quality, and it's not about hitting a certain number, so you go into syndication and all that kind of stuff. So to play him for 8 seasons was really rewarding, and then I walked away from it and left it all behind. Wouldn't watch an episode or even see a clip if it came about. Just immerse myself in Mr. Selfridge. That's what I've been here doing for 4 seasons, because I didn't really want Ari's cadence and madness in my head. I wanted to just immerse myself in the land of Mr. Selfridge, and I did. And so when the call came to do this, I thought, that would be fun, and certainly different than what I had been doing, and everything, that I had learned from all these brilliant actors and directors and writers on Mr. Selfridge. I could utilize those experiences and hopefully contribute all of that to playing Ari Gold. And so I think the movie works on a bigger level, to be honest with you. It's almost like the explored and heightened version of everything that we were doing on the series.
And when you finished on the series, which is 2011, were there always plans to go and do this for a movie, or were you quite surprised when you were in the middle of doing Mr. Selfridge to get the call?
I was out of the loop completely. There's drama about something, I don't know what. And so all I knew is that the script was really good, and it was worthy of making it. And I hadn't thought about it. I knew when we finished the series, it was people loved it, and it was so nice to. You're always looking for an audience, and so the fact that we had one was very gratifying. But I never thought we would necessarily do a movie, and so here we are.
Can you improvise as Ari?
I love improvising. I grew up doing it. I grew up at the Piven Theater, studying with my family, and we did a lot of improvising, among other things. And so I would try to get it in as much as possible. It wasn't something that Doug Ellen, the creator, that he really wanted to, to keep it to the script. And so we had a little deal that, we got it letter perfect. And then he would let me, have a take where I got to kind of finesse some of the dialogue, and hopefully it made its way in. And sometimes it did.
The day I saw your movie, Jeremy, I interviewed John Cleese for his autobiography, which has come out. And I think you're a fan of Python. You're certainly an Anglophile. You've been here long enough. And I did find myself wondering whether there was anything of when Ari is off on one of his rages, whether there's anything of Basil Fawlty in that kind of destructive anger.
Yeah, Fawlty Towers is a huge influence on me, and John Cleese is genius. And that certainly was, subconsciously, of course. There are so many prototypes in the States, to be totally honest with you, for these folks that are wildly ambitious and destructive and reactive and just, Hollywood sharks. And I think it's funny because the way Cleese played him, he was almost more of a victim, and had so many layers. And I think Ari is more of just a wrecking ball, to be honest with you. But I'm sure subconsciously, everything Cleese has done has influenced me. And I don't know if he and I have been friends for years. And I had an amazing night with him. I was doing a Broadway show, and he came to see me, and I was really intimidated by seeing him out in the audience, because it's hard to miss him. He's 6'5".
Yeah, that's right.
And it was the night that Obama was sworn in. He won that night because it was still the election. And so Cleese and I went to Harlem together because they asked me to get up and speak. Why, I have no idea. And I was honored, and Cleese had on his daughter's boa. So he had this large black feather boa on, and I looked out into a sea of black faces, and there's this one incredibly tall white man with a black boa on. And so we shared that night and raised a glass to Obama.
Certainly an extraordinary moment, and he does stand out in absolutely any crowd.
Yeah.
Do you think it's fair to say, Jeremy, that there might be some people who go and see the movie who do think that maybe the women are only there in your movie to please the men? That really that the movie is about the sexual entitlement of men, and the women are just there as kind of like dressing, really.
Well, you have to understand the show is a male fantasy, and the way that I played Ari Gold, Perry Reeves, who played my wife. We kind of discovered very early on, the first day actually, I just remember that we were doing a scene and I just had to kind of dress her down and kind of storm off. And I just thought, wouldn't it be funny if Mrs. Ari wore the pants in the relationship and Ari was just all sound and fury, signifying nothing. And so we found that relationship in that first day. And she just said, "Give me the keys." And I just kind of have to give her the keys to the car and kind of sheepishly follow her off. And so that's the only female relationship that I was in control of in any way, shape, or form. And yeah, there were a lot of women that were just throwing themselves at Vinny Chase, and the rest of the guys are desperately trying to get laid and finessing that because they know Vinny. And their conversation is very kind of blokey and sexist and homophobic and all those things, absolutely. And Ari Gold is an equal opportunity offender himself, absolutely.
But it's fair to say this role changed your life, and the Emmy was 2008, was it, something like that? And things have been pretty different. Do we get some? And on top of that, because I think we've just got this one question. So it changed your life, and I think are you going to come back and do some more period drama in this country?
Yeah, I'm at this moment. The only reason I'm not on a set in Neasden shooting Mr. Selfridge is because I'm here with you. So
But you wish you were in Neasden.
I don't think that's been said by many people. By the way,
no, that's true.
No, I think that as you know, to do 4 seasons of a show here is rarefied air. So we're all incredibly lucky. I am inspired by everyone I work with, and I truly mean that. And I think that this season's our best season. And if I'm ever lucky enough to be asked to come back here and be on the stage or in front of a camera, I will run back. But one of the things that I did regret about my stay here is that I didn't have more downtime just to take in London. Because I love going to the theater and just I got to come back here on vacation is what I need to do.
Well, wear that waistcoat, and because you look good in it.
I'll go to Shoreditch where I'll fit in.
Jeremy Piven, we appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you.